Oh. Good morrow, everybody. My name is Robin, also known as Sunny Side Up Gal, and you are my Sunny Side Up pal. Good morrow, everybody. Good day and good morning. It is 4:48 in the fucking a.m. I have been working on fixing this gosh darn settings on my camera because since Michael and I decided to film in another room and I had to change all of my lighting and fixtures and all that jazz, I had to readjust filters and ness on my
that you had
in here. And then guess what? Homie forgot, don't ignore my arm. Homie forgot to bring this piece of drywall back into my studio, which is the guest bedroom. So I had little tiny baby girl, very dainty Robin had to drag this in herself. I was ready to sit down and film, but then there was an ugly gray wall behind me. We're back to the regular studio. Things might look a little bit different because I couldn't get it exactly where I liked it. Also, I was fiddling around with some other things. I'll get into that. Hi, hello, how are you? If you are new here, thank you so much for deciding to stop and check out my channel. If you haven't already, please subscribe and don't forget to like the video because I know you're gonna like the video. And if you are not new here, thank you so much for coming back. I really appreciate you. And hello, and good morning, good morrow. I hope you don't see...
My armpits are not shaved.
I'm a little insecure about my arms because they're, you know, loosey goosey, fatty, all that jazzy. But it's about to get summertime. Dark time.
It's dark time, as you know.
It's about to become summer and I am wanting to wear some tanky toppies.
Okay.
Listen, we all have arms and you probably were or are fat if you're watching this because you're looking for some motivation. You probably have loose skin. So guess what? We've got some things going on. We're going to see a lot of this in America, you guys. Guess why? Because a lot of people are fat. And a lot of people are losing weight. Okay, this happens. This is a mixture of fat and looseness, okay? Okay, am I going to show this on camera? Let's get comfortable with it. Let's get comfortable with this. I don't care. This is years of get fat, lose weight, get fat, lose weight. This is what happens. Okay, guys? Okay. Listen. Okay. We are going to continue on that Jubilee episode with Jillian Michaels versus the body positive movement. If you haven't already watched my other two episodes, I did one by myself and then I did one with my husband. And I'm going to continue off where I left off, where I was by myself. So if you haven't already, go ahead and watch that episode and then come back here. I mean, go and watch my husband's episode too because he is funny as hell.
Holy foundation as well.
Dude, that's like highlighter.
Homegirl
like,
dipped her face in a fucking offensive.
Another reason why I was fudging around on here for like almost 2 hours was I figured out how to do like filters on OBS. I had no idea that OBS had filters for like video. I also added an overlay. So I think this time when I do my editing, I only have to edit this sound and I don't have to really mess with the visuals as much. I mean, I'm still going to have a lot of fun, but it's not going to be as, you know, panicky put together as it was before. Hopefully. No guarantees. I know you guys like the edits though, so we're still going to have fun with it, but this is going to be much easier on me. So anyway, look, it's already let me flip it and I get to stay on this side of the screen and not flip myself because I don't really like when I'm flipped. I look weird. Do I care though? Not really. But anyway. And then also look what else I did, you guys, because mommy is a professional. Look at that. Oh my God, Robin, how did you do that? I'm not going to tell you. I will not tell you unless you ask me nicely. But I won't tell you because I'm going to gatekeep this. Am I? I'm not going to. It's just another overlay and then it's just another video and then you set the opacity, you put it on top of each other and you got it, okay? Okay.
okay.
The other thing too, the Shrek TV's not happening. It's not happening. At least not this video. Will mommy have a Shrek TV eventually? Yes. So continue to bully anybody who tries to do that. I don't know if anybody's going to do that. You know, I don't know if anybody has the energy to do the shit that I do, you guys. Am I being mean when I say that? Does anybody have the energy anymore? I don't know.
Can, and I've found works for me. But you're just, it didn't work for you. But it works to an extent. You just told me it didn't work for you. It works to an extent. Then this is an irrelevant conversation.
That's where we left off. I'm still on the same like claim, the same prompt, because there are some, I mean, I feel like they picked a lot of really good unhinged people because they're all pissing me off. So again, the claim for this is obesity is not healthy and pretending it is puts lives at risk.
What I'm curious about is if you care about people's health and you have people in front of you.
Okay, so this lady's name is Paula. Paula, let's say something nice. I like your necklace because I love a short necklace. I also don't know if the hairstyle is for you, but I appreciate that you are trying to be chic. It's French.
It's French. Really? Yes.
And I'm sure you have people online who are telling you that the body positivity movement, or I prefer body liberation, body justice, body acceptance, body blub, all the good shit that we like, okay, actually increases their health.
Okay, doesn't it feel like she's trying to like make this announcement like, hey, I'm a good person. I'm here to make people feel safe. If you guys haven't already watched Graphically Alex video, he makes a really good point that a lot of these like activists, especially those that are living in like smaller bodies, I didn't really see what she looked like. She could just have like a sleeper build and have a skinny face. I really didn't see what she looked like. Let me see what she... Okay, so she just has like a mom bod, basically, like an older woman, you know. I don't really know if she's obese or not. But he makes a really good point how they try to make themselves appear to be safe.
It's kind of her attempt at saying, I'm one of you. It's a signal. And so then the rest of the zombies are like, okay, she's one of us.
To me, it feels very like popularity contest. Like, these are my badges. I'm safe. I like to use these words. You need to use these words. And it's just very... I mean, the word I always use is just performative. It is. It's very icky. I don't like it. It just feels fake to me. You know, if your actions show more than your words, and I feel like a lot of people are forgetting that. I'm not going to assume, well, first of all, me personally, I do like to assume the best of people. I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. Do I think she's a good person? It's possible, you know? But I feel like your actions show more than your words. So a lot of people who are like, who have to announce their good behavior feels very like my trust level drops a little bit. God bless you, Duncan. My trust level drops a little bit, and I not like.
That is, if you care about people's health and you have people in front of you, and I'm sure you have people telling you that the body positivity movement, or I prefer body liberation, body justice, body acceptance.
Yeah, see, like, that's just super, and she's getting snaps. That's just super, like, it's just performative to me. It just doesn't, it just seems so fake to me. I don't like it.
Shit that we like actually increases their health, then I don't understand.
That's so weird. Like, is she saying that words increase health? That's
okay. That the body positivity movement,
Or I prefer body liberation, body justice, body acceptance.
All the good shit that we like actually increases their health.
then I don't understand your debate. Like,
okay, so she's not saying the words increase their health. It's just like the movements, I guess, which is, you know, debatable.
What are you debating if the fat people are telling you it makes their life better?
I'm debating their physical health.
Yes.
People who claim that you can be physically healthy at any size.
okay, do you think you can be physically healthy and mentally unhealthy at the same time?
Of course, but that's not the claim.
Okay, sure. I think the part where I
Get stuck.
I am a mental health professional.
Oh my God. She's a mental health professional. Fucking fire her if she's your whatever, your therapist or your counselor, or what the fuck. Doesn't it sound, and then also, can we agree that her voice is very infantilizing? Like when she talks to you, like I feel like she's an adult woman. Maybe that's just her accent, but she's an adult woman talking to a shark of an adult woman.
well, actually, these things fucking help people. They're making people healthy.
No, drop it.
I work with people from a body liberation standpoint. I work with people in all shapes of bodies. What I know to be true from my experience is that Body positivity, body liberation.
Helps people take care of themselves. It's very difficult to understand.
Wrong. Body positivity, body liberation helps people, like, enables people to live in like extremely fat bodies. Now before the body positivity movement, I mean, that we all know, we're all watching, we've all, been following along. The body positivity movement was not meant for just strictly fat people. They've kind of like taken over. It was originally meant for people who have like things about them that they cannot change. Like, and of course, I mean, being obese, it could fall in that. You can't immediately become skinny in a day, right? You know what I mean? Like, these are things for people who cannot. The body positivity movement was a movement for people who have things wrong with their bodies, not wrong, but like that's the the word that comes to mind, with their bodies that can't be changed immediately. You know what I mean? So people with amputations, people like burn victims, people with alopecia, people with vitiligo, things like that. And then the fat activism, the fat positivity movement, they took it over, and it almost seems like they're not welcoming anybody else if you're like in a straight sized body. And it's just so strange to me.
Understand why you think somebody is going to take better care of a body they hate. Why body positivity would.
I don't think that Jillian is ever trying to create a situation where somebody hates themselves so much that they fix it. I don't think that anybody should do that. I feel like you should love. I personally, in my life is easier when you can work. I mean, even work slowly towards a healthier body. And then that is like you showing love for yourself. I don't think I've ever hated my body into health, or I have never hated my body into like a skinnier body. Do you know what I mean? It's never been about that. Whatever.
Not inspire people to take better care of their bodies.
My argument. I never said you should hate your body. In fact,
you should.
Okay, so they don't think that.
What I think is that there are people in the movement
Yeah.
who have co-opted healthy at any size, and it
Went from access to healthcare to quite literally meaning for them that you could be healthy at any size.
and that's not true. That's not true. That's not true. That's not true.
Okay. I mean, the studies show that if you're
Yeah, red flags. I feel like this lady is, honestly, I feel like a lot of people who come up to this goddamn chair are not ready, first of all. They're there to just say what's about them. So she obviously has already made her claims. I'm safe. I'm do this. I like to use these words. And then there's no real argument, and people are already putting up the flag. Like, I feel like maybe she's building up to it, but I hate the flag. Honestly, hate the flag.
You're very, 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 very thin, or your body is very, 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 very big. It is more difficult to be healthy. That is absolutely true.
You agree with me on this point?
I don't, because I don't think body positivity
is the dangerous thing. I think
hatred of fat bodies and people hating themselves.
I hate myself.
People living in self-loathing.
I hang out with an apple who loves self-loathing.
Because they've been taught that their body is the wrong shape. That's the danger. Both can be true.
Yeah, I think a lot of people too, they forget that two things can exist at one time. Is it dangerous for somebody to hate their body so much? That can be mentally like destroying. At the same time, you can't be so afraid of the reductive E followed by the letter D that you completely flip your life around and just get gigantic and ginormous, right? Like that's we need to find balance. And people in the fat acceptance community, they think that people like me who are always actively looking to, I mean, I've got PCOS and Hashimoto's, so that makes things really difficult for me to try to lose weight. I'm always actively looking for ways to make my body healthier. And I feel like I've always been like on a weight loss journey because it's so difficult. It's so easy for me to gain weight. I gained 5 pounds over the weekend. I know it's water weight, but it was from my birthday, right? I gained 5 pounds just from 2 days of eating carbohydrates, which clearly, yes, it's water weight and inflammation. I'm finally back into ketosis, by the way. Well, not really. I'm back to expressing ketones, but I'm not necessarily back into ketosis. I just don't feel it up here yet.
Both can be true at once.
Yeah, so like two things can exist at one time. They think that people like me who are who acknowledge that living in obese bodies, all we want to see in the world is skeletons, and that's not the case. Normal people, they can look at like celebrities who are super duper thin, Skeletor.
You ready?
You goddamn better believe it. Then take your drawers off.
Skeletal and be like, that's not, that's not the ideal that we want. We want something definitely in between. We want a healthy body weight. We want we want fertility. You know what I mean? Like we want because if you lose your weight, if you lose so much weight that you're a goddamn skeleton, you're not going to have babies. Not that I'm saying that everybody wants to have babies. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is fertility is it's a marker of health. So we want healthy body sizes. We don't want super duper obese. We don't want skeletal, but she thinks, and a lot of the fat acceptance community thinks that
if anybody wants to lose weight for any goddamn reason, they just want to be a skeleton.
And that's not the case. And it's not dangerous if you do things right and you get your education and you research for your own, your own body. You experiment with yourself. What works best for my body? What's not working for my body? What makes me feel good? And be honest with yourself too. It's because fat people would be like,
well, I feel fine.
And they're like 500 pounds. Is like, bitch, I know. What? What do you mean?
What do you mean?
I know you don't feel fine.
So let's look at this, right? So the first thing we would want to do, obviously,
is incentivize somebody.
What's the why?
That's going to allow you to tolerate the how.
But hold on. That's the inspiration piece.
Now, here's the issue.
If that piece, if all the things that they get out of it don't serve them
as much as the things they're getting out of being overweight,
then they're not going unconsciously. They will sabotage the change. Can I give you an example so you'll understand it? Okay, there was a kid that I worked.
She's so frustrated and anxious
with on Biggest Loser.
He's 18 years old. Okay, he shows up with his dad, Ken. They both lose like 100 pounds. They go home, and they're visiting their family. It's the holidays. Doors fly open, and there's Mom. And Mom starts crying. And she's not crying tears of joy. She feels like they're going to abandon her.
That's selfish of Mom. Just saying. Maybe Mom has a food addiction. Maybe Mom... I want to be nice and be like, oh, well, I can understand, those are feelings that are valid, blah, 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 blah. But in my head, I'm like, if my kid came back, if my kid was on the verge of dying and was a fatty and then came home and lost all the weight and I had hope that he had a future, there's no way that I would be like, my son is going to leave. I don't think so. I don't have kids, but I would never think that. Why wouldn't you just celebrate? But I don't know. Maybe she's got mental illness and, maybe we should be a little bit nicer, Robin. I don't know, Robin. Should I? Or should I hold people accountable?
The contract, they've outgrown her. And she becomes sad and she withdraws. So what does the 18-year-old do? He starts eating with Mom again. What does the food provide him? A connection with his mom. I had something similar with my dad. This is one of the ways that we connected. Food provides a lot of people with a lot of different things.
Yes, you cannot eat and not have your parasympathetic nervous system turn on at the same time. There's no such thing as not emotional eating. It's fine.
Lord, make me fast and accurate.
I don't even know what to say. Look at her face, first of all. I don't believe that. I don't believe that there's no such thing as not emotional eating. Yes, your parasympathetic nervous system is activated when you eat. I have a feeling that's just to maybe calm, I'm thinking like a lizard brain, right? Maybe that does something to calm you down, be like, you're safe. Eat this, relax so that you're not worried about people danger around you when you eat, right? I'm thinking, is that why? Let me know in the comments if that's also what you think. As far as emotional eating, that's a mental thing, right? I know that emotion can feel like it's here. I know that emotion can feel like it comes directly from your heart, but emotion is a mental and maybe hormonal a little bit, but it is a mental thing, right? If I'm having a tough day, if I'm thinking about sad things, if somebody's hurt me and I reach for food, that is what, that is emotional eating. What she's getting at is she's trying to make it a scientific thing. Emotional eating exists because of this scientific terminology, blah, 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 blah. But it's that's not what we're talking about. It's not healthy. It's not a good thing to do that. I personally don't think that it's a good thing to reach for food anytime that you have anytime that you're emotional and your reaction is to reach for food. I think that that's something that needs to be remedied.
That's okay, we have the remedy.
There's no such thing as not emotional eating. It's fine. It's good. It's great. Food is great.
You speak like someone who has never been Smacked in the fucking mouth.
Oh God, food is great. That's like saying like, I know that a lot of us compare this to like alcoholism, but it's like telling somebody that is morbidly obese that like food is great. It's totally fine to eat when you're emotional. Yada yada yada. It's like telling somebody like, no, it's fine to eat social. It's fine to drink socially because that's what people do. They drink socially. I don't know.
What I'm trying to show you is that if, in some cases, the pain associated with continuing that defense mechanism
is greater than the pain associated with change. It helps people change in some cases.
I agree. I agree.
I agree.
The consequences of continuing the association of emotion with food can be greater than the consequences of remedying that hobby, but also habit, that habit of reaching for food when you're emotional. Because it stacks up, it builds. You start reaching for food when you're emotional. That if you have an emotional day every day, if you're depressed, blah 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 blah. If you're chronically depressed, you're always reaching for food. That can lead to obesity. Depending on what kind of food you're eating as well. You know, you're gonna get type 2 diabetes. You know, you could get other issues as well. Whereas opposed to like, you know, fixing that. No longer reaching for food when you're emotional, eating healthier food, making healthier choices, will that, if you're doing it in the right way and you're not like obsessing about it, like definitely, I mean, you have to reach for like, you can't just like start some random diet. You definitely have to go into it with a little bit of research, but the mental anguish of going on a, you know, lifestyle change versus the physical damage of eating like shit and eating often and eating emotionally, like, you know, pick the greater, you know, pick the better option. The better option is always going to be the one that leads to your better physical health, because physical health and mental health can, you know, they're hand in hand. If you're physically unwell, that's going to affect your mental health. If you're working towards a better, like if you're working towards a healthier body, that can reflect, you know, in the future mentally, because hormones can fuck with like your brain, and then and excess body fat can like is going to cause a hormonal shitstorm and, you know, cause mental issues.
Not in the long term. Not in the long term.
Not in the long term.
Not in the long term. Just denial. Just denial. Okay, this gal, she, I think I've seen a clip of her, but I noticed her a ton in my last two videos. She's just very much a yes queen, like, yes, or like, no, not true. When they show like, you know how they show like the circle, what their reactions are to Jillian or whoever's in the chair, strangling them with giant fat.
And when they do, they release.
Oh my God, these people. Did you see her? She's just like, oh my God, this is absolute bullshit.
Can't get oxygen. And they start screaming, literally. And
oh my God, no, this is bullshit. So I'm interested to see what she has to say. I have a feeling it's going to be very emotional.
So earlier you were speaking about how
I was not expecting that voice, but I think it's because I've created a voice for her in my head of like the yes queen.
Oh, there's randomized control trials that show
Mendelian randomized control trials that have
now shown us
that obesity is causal to all-cause mortality.
Okay, so I disagree with that. I think there's
going to be a problem with
dozens.
Yes.
So, fact check them.
Okay, let's read the fact check. Obesity is a. Why can't I read? Why can't I read?
Why can't read?
Obesity is associated with higher risk of death from all causes, particularly at BMI over 30. But the relationship varies by age, severity, and other health factors. A large meta-analysis in JAMA found obesity linked to increased all-cause mortality in 2013. Wow. I honestly am so shocked with Jubilee's. And let me know if you also agree, but I feel like in the past obesity, Jubilee used to be like super I guess nicer to the fat acceptance community. They just didn't seem very, like, I used to watch Jubilee and be like, they're not of reality. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, they just seemed very, very more sympathetic to like the emotional side of each argument. And I feel like this is very like they're being actual fact checky, actually like of science. But, I'm not like a big fan of Jubilee. I'm not like, I'm not watching a lot. But from what I've seen like in clips and stuff in the past, I just feel like Jubilee has not been very supportive of people in the chair. That's what I was getting at. So like anybody in the chair, I feel like Jubilee is very, very not supportive. And it feels very supportive now, but I feel like maybe that's because obesity is an issue.
That's why I disagree.
Because you can disagree.
No, but let me please let me hear me out.
Okay.
So the reason why is because
registered dietitian,
school for 6 years, studying nutrition, weights, all the stuff.
It's always like that. Listen, I'm a registered dietitian. I've been to school for this many years.
Me, I don't know. PhD, cancer biology scientist. I work in a biotech company. We make COVID-19 testing kits, stuff like that.
I have experience with this, with fat people, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, no, bitch, just like argue the claim. You don't have to, do you have an argument or not? I don't care if you've been in the, like literally, if nobody told me their title, I really wouldn't care. I need you to tell me the facts. Like tell me your argument, show me some proof, and then we can,
kill him because of all this stuff. And
Tell
we
me
can't
what
keep
lipotoxicity is.
Okay, so I know that it's important, but Jillian has to know that these people don't give a shit about facts. Like she has to know, she's sitting in this chair, she's already argued with quite a few people. She has to know that these people don't give a shit about like medical terms. They don't, because they don't believe that obesity is a medical issue, right? I wish she would stop being like, what's lipotoxicity? Let's see if she keeps going, but it's like, let's hear these people out. I don't know.
It doesn't come up in my curriculum because it's bullshit. Because
lipotoxicity is bullshit.
It's a TikTok thing. That's like,
it's a TikTok thing. What else is a TikTok thing? Oh, being morbidly obese is cool. Being morbidly obese is not healthy. Being morbidly obese is totally fine. No issues at all, right? That feels more like a TikTok thing than, lipotoxicity, which is a medical term, is medical terminology. Goddamn people.
cortisol face or whatever.
Like cortisol face. Robin, in post, pull up if cortisol face is a real thing or not.
It is not
bullshit.
It's ectopic fat.
But can we just say, because you keep sidestepping and then we can never get anywhere.
This is the claim. Okay. The claim is that obesity is unhealthy.
Lipotoxicity is not bullshit. But it is the definition of ectopic fat.
It's funny it never came up in 6 years.
I'm a professional. I'm credited.
What's fatty liver disease?
I know what fatty liver.
It's funny how that never came up in the curriculum of. Did she say that she was a dietitian? Okay, she's a clinical dietitian, and lipotoxicity never came up. I wonder why that is. Like, why didn't that come up, you guys? What do you guys think? Did it not come up, or was she not paying attention? Or is it a dietitian's job to just feed people, basically, and tell them what to eat, and not really diagnose people with, like, diagnose or undiagnose people with, like, obesity or about lipotoxicity?
Lipotoxicity. Okay.
Okay.
When fat is in the liver, when fat is in the heart,
when fat gets deposited in the brain.
Fact check. Lipotoxicity refers to cell damage caused by excess fatty acids accumulating in organs that are not designed to store fat, such as the liver, pancreas, heart, and muscle. When fat spills over from adipose tissue into these organs, it can promote inflammation, insulin resistance, and organ dysfunction.
And it happens when the body has no place to put the excess energy anymore.
Okay.
It is irrefutable
that is bad for your health.
Irrefutable. That's a great word. It is, yeah. So what she's saying is that it's undeniably true that having excess body fat and lipotoxicity, so having like fatty liver fat around your organs, fat and all that shit is bad.
Just go back to the correlation doesn't equal causation. So you're saying there's causal studies, right?
Yes, okay. MRT studies that show.
The acronym is great. Okay. So
my thing is, the reason why we cannot show that the fat in and of itself leads to the negative health outcomes is because
we cannot keep a human in a lab and control every factor, but have the only thing that's different.
Mendelian randomized control.
But can you just
trials.
listen? So a person
that apparently eliminates
any conflating factors because they're based on genetic predispositions coupled with
But
lifestyle.
can I just share, a person in a larger body has experience.
God, you can tell that Jillian is like steaming. She's like, it's like talking to a wall. It's like talking to a wall. And then the whole like, you can't say that obesity, fat cells on the body cause disease because you can't put a person in a lab and test that. You know what I mean? Well, then how come, like, did we test smokers in a lab who get lung cancer? I don't think so. I feel like we were just like, oh, this person has been smoking 5 packs a fucking day since they were 10. They're 78 now and they only have one lung. I'm sure that's from smoking since they were 10. Just like I would look at somebody who has type 35 diabetes who's been fat since they were 5. It's probably because they've been fat for so long. Like, I think it's okay. Like, there are, maybe very, very small amounts of situations where it's not okay to be like, that causes something. Like, it's not okay to assume correlation causes causation, right? Like, for example, if I go outside and I see 10 people holding an umbrella and it's raining, that would be stupid for me to be like, the rain or the umbrellas caused the rain, right? I hope that's a good analogy. It feels really good in my brain. It feels really good in my mouth. But like, there are situations like that. Like, there are some situations where it's like, no, you can't really make that assumption. However, when 75% of the fucking United States is overweight or obese, and most of those people who are overweight or obese have type 2 diabetes, I feel like it's okay to make the assumption that being obese can cause type 2 diabetes. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I'm right.
Experienced things that we can't undo
from the fat. So for example, they might have negative health outcomes because every time they go to a doctor,
instead of being given an evidence-based treatment,
like I have unearned thin privilege.
I go to a doctor, I say, my stomach hurts. I get a full workup.
You're basically saying the earth is flat. Are you trying?
Oh my God, this bitch again. Let's listen to her again.
Has experienced things that we can't
undo from the fat. So for example,
they might have negative health outcomes because
every time they
go to a doctor, instead of being given an evidence-based treatment, like I have
okay, no, they might have negative health. They might have negative health outcomes from being fat because they go to a doctor and don't get treatment for something. So let's continue. I don't think that's the case though.
Are you trying to tell me that having fat in your liver,
I just want to talk about
fat in your heart,
having fat deposited in your brain is healthy? No, I just want to talk about.
So no, you're not trying to say that it's healthy.
No, I'm not trying to tell you that is what I said. I was never talking about the health of it.
Okay.
I'm trying to say
everything you're saying is hinging on this idea, and it's a problem that we disagree on it.
That it's the weight in and of itself that leads to the negative health outcomes.
You're saying this MRT totally is
fat is an endocrine.
I know,
but can
it release?
I get that Jillian is, fast, right? And I get that this lady is speaking annoyingly slow. That said, Jillian, let her talk.
Destroys your hormone balance.
It creates insulin sensitivity.
Insulin sensitivity? I would say insulin insensitivity, but maybe it does.
Insane amounts of different.
I just wonder, have you heard of social determinants of health?
Tell me about it.
Okay, social determinants of health, a group of factors that impact someone's health outcomes.
That are things like your healthcare access and quality, neighborhood and built environment.
Things like your stress levels, socioeconomic status.
Okay.
So here's the thing.
A person who's fat, who lives in a larger body,
we can't take away that person has probably experienced higher stress levels their whole life from experiencing more.
Yeah, probably because being in a fat body like fucks with your cortisol levels. I mean, yeah, higher cortisol can make it easier for you to like store fat, but it's like is double-edged sword the right thing? It's like no matter what, you kind of have to ride the line correctly. Otherwise, you're going to, fuck yourself up a little bit more. I don't know if double-edged sword we're going to ignore that. I'm going to keep it in, but we're going to ignore that. But I feel like when you are living in a body like that, it is like like you have to, your high cortisol causes you to be fat, but also being extremely fat can fuck with your cortisol levels. Like you kind of have to find like a Goldilocks level of maybe diet and exercise, or maybe like and stress relief at the same time. It's kind of like with me having PCOS. PCOS makes it difficult for you to lose weight, but a treatment plan for PCOS is weight loss. And when I first heard that, I was like, well, what the fuck do I do? Like, this is fucking hard. But I did the research and I did the self experiments. And basically, if you have PCOS that's causing insulin resistance, what do? You eat foods that don't require a higher insulin like need. So I had to go to low carb, and that's helped me a ton.
Okay, we can't take away that their whole life from experiencing marginalization every corner, from shows like The Biggest Loser
to the doctor's office. Okay. We can't take away that they haven't been given evidence-based health options, because when they go to a doctor, they're told to go.
Okay, so they like to, they meaning the body positivity movement, fat acceptance movement, they like to say that that fat people experience more like negative health. I don't know if reactions is the word. You know what I mean? Like they experience negative health markers because they're receiving they are getting fat bias, like medical fat bias from their medical team. So like they like to use this example. If I go in for a broken arm, the doctor just tells me to lose weight. And it's like, if that was the case, like any smart person would just get a second opinion, right? Like if you, and I'm not trying to like victim shame people. Like I know that this fucking happens. It happened to me. I experienced medical fat bias or medical weight bias, and it ended up being like precancerous lesions. But guess what I did? I had a doctor who I was experiencing like super heavy periods, and obviously losing, I was like over 200 pounds when I saw this guy, and he basically told me, to lose weight and that I should do vigorous aerobic exercise. And at this time I had lost some weight. So I was like one of those fat people who was like, I've done everything, I'm losing weight, like what, there's nothing I can do. And I was told to do very, very vigorous aerobic exercise, but it wasn't like an exercise thing. Like I went to anyway, I got a second opinion because this is like over 100 days of bleeding. And I found out that it was from polyps in my uterus, like precancerous polyps. So basically my doctors were telling me that like I could have lost 30 pounds and nothing would have stopped the bleeding. I could have been exercising the shit out of my body and nothing would have stopped the bleeding, because these are like physical almost cancerous lesions in my like polyps in my uterus. So any smart person who would go to the doctor and be like, I can't eat, my stomach hurts, I feel like shit, and the doctor tells you to lose weight, like I feel like if you know with your heart of hearts that something's wrong and you need pictures or imaging, go to the emergency room. I know that the medical system sucks here. You have to pay. Don't pay the bill, right? What are they going to do? Repo you? No, I mean, do that at your own risk. I am not a finance person. I'm not, but I am a human being, and I believe that life is important, and like your life, like is so important. So don't be afraid of the bill. Everything will be okay. Everything will work out if you're alive, right? Your life matters more than your credit score. Oh, I need a t-shirt. Your life matters more than your credit score. So like if it's a dire situation, go to the emergency room, right? Go get imaging, get a second opinion. That's that. Because you being alive is more important, right? If, however, you go and you get the imaging, nothing's wrong, you're still having, fix your diet, diet the diet is our first defense. Your diet is the first defense of like your first defense of illness. So like food is medicine, basically. I know people will say food is not medicine. I'm not saying like you get a virus and you eat a steak and that's going to heal your virus. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that like if you choose to eat healthy, it's preventative medicine, basically. You're going to prevent bad things. But let's see what else.
When fat gets deposited in the brain,
you're not answering what I'm saying.
How does
I'm confused. Are you suggesting these are the reasons people become overweight?
No, I'm suggesting that
a person could be in a larger body and be
perfectly healthy based on their labs, their cholesterol.
7% of people who are
So yes, she is correct. Like an obese person can be healthy. Like their cholesterol levels are fine. They may not have type 2 diabetes or whatever. But in my opinion, it's not a matter of like it's not a matter of like it'll never it's not that it'll never happen. The it's when will it happen basically. Like you live in an obese body, you are almost guaranteed. It may take years, it may take decades, but you're almost guaranteed to have issues with your markers eventually. Now, we've known people who have been in their 20s, morbidly obese, super morbidly obese, not have anything wrong with their markers, right? They're freaks of nature, okay? Me, however, I never had any issues until I was closer to like, I mean, I always had issues with like bleeding and stuff like that. But as far as like being like your triglycerides suck and you're gonna have diabetes, that really didn't happen towards like until like my later 20s, maybe mid 20s. How old was I in 2017? 26? Yeah. Yeah. Anyway,
classified as overweight or obese.
Call it whatever you guys feel comfortable with. Only 7% are classified as healthy. Say that was true. Say we knew for certain. I have the data for you right now.
Okay.
Say we knew for certain that it was unhealthy. That what you're saying is true.
Okay, let's read this fact check. One U.S. population study using strict metabolic criteria found that 6.8% of adults with obesity were metabolically healthy. 6.8%. So they are freaks of nature if you are metabolically healthy at a large body. However, other research shows higher estimates when different definitions are used, with prevalence of metabolically healthy obesity ranging from 10 to 30%. Okay, I feel like I need a breakdown of that. Like I feel like that's when they say different definitions, are they using different like health markers? Like are they saying that are they changing, are they moving the goalpost basically? Like did they change the range of healthy like cholesterol levels or healthy blood glucose levels or a healthy A1C in those ones? I need to figure it out.
Here's the classification.
But even then, we'd be in this place where.
Okay, so what do we do? Are we going to send someone down a path of
trying to lose weight and then gaining and trying and gaining? And we know that weight cycling in and of itself,
bad for the heart, bad for insulin, bad for the brain, bad for all.
Again, I mentioned this in my last video, like my first episode. I feel like weight cycling, if you're doing it properly and you're not being like a fucking dumbass where you're like, I'm going to be 500 pounds, then I'm not going to eat for a month and lose 200 pounds. That's not possible, maybe.
Well, first of all, through God, all things are possible, so jot that down.
I don't know, but like, you know what I mean? Like if you have to do it smart, it's lifestyle changes. You wouldn't weight cycle as much if you stuck to your like lifestyle change. So weight cycling happens most of the time when somebody's doing like crash diets or like a fad diet or like just a diet and then get to a goal weight and then they go back to eating like an asshole. Like that's really, sometimes when people do that, I'm like, do you not understand like math? Like, do you not understand that like the food that you ate to get fat will continue to always make you get fat if you eat it, right? So like if you spent your entire life eating fucking Fruit Loops and eating like a dickhead, and then you lose the weight, and then when you get to your goal weight, you start eating like a dickhead again. Are you shocked that you are cycling your weight? I'm just confused. But that's the other thing too, that's another huge argument. They're like, weight cycling is dangerous. Yeah, if you're a dick about it, like if you weight cycling, but at the same time, wouldn't you think that even the small amount of time that you are not in a gigantic body is a little bit healthier than just staying at a gigantic body for 10 years straight? Am I wrong?
With that individual.
That's what I do in my private practice.
Well, that's wonderful.
Yeah. And I don't, the brain, bad for all the things.
We work with that individual.
She's got a private practice and she's super, super like fat acceptance. And with everybody being fucking fat in this country, I feel like she's just a money grabber. So the fact that she told me she has a private practice means that she maybe doesn't accept insurance, or maybe she can. And she just seems like a thief to me, okay?
That's what I do in my private practice.
Well, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
I have a private practice.
And I don't encourage weight loss because it's unethical.
Now we're going to get into the ethics. Wouldn't you guys agree, and I know we're biased because we obviously are anti-fat acceptance, but wouldn't you guys agree that Yes, queening. Yes, queen.
Go off. You look so great. Don't lose a pound. You are so beautiful in this body.
And it's like a 450-pound person. Wouldn't that be unethical? Wouldn't it be unethical to just tell somebody, just tell people who are living in morbidly obese bodies and clearly have insulin resistance and or type 2 diabetes, and we know that type 2 diabetes is just like, it's just a roller coaster and like a snowball effect, and just if you start with like insulin and blood sugar issues, it leads to other bad things like medically. Wouldn't that be unethical? Her face is making me shake because it's so fucking weird, you guys. She gives off she has such a sweet face. She gives off, I'm safe. I'm safe. Like, you can come to me for anything. But underneath all of that, it's let me enable you to be fat and unhealthy, and I'm going to take your money. But don't worry, I accept insurance if you have it. Like, it's like a spider or something. I don't know. What's a really beautiful animal that, like, it's just giving me like a poisonous flower. You know what I mean? Like, she is very pretty. She's super sweet. She has a sweet voice, and she's telling me poisonous, like, misinformation.
I disagree with you.
And what's ethical? You were asking before, what do professionals do?
Not to be transparent.
Like, doesn't she remind you of like a changeling or something? I don't know. It seems, I'm scared.
Parent with people about the dangers.
Yeah. Transparency is the dangers of weight cycling.
Issue, you're presuming they're weight cycling. If you're doing your job, they shouldn't have to weight cycle.
No.
Yeah, you're a fucking dietitian. Wouldn't you figure out foods that they don't feel the need to like weight cycle with? Like your goal is to help them with like a lifestyle change, making foods that are, this is just my, layman's idea of what a dietitian does. But doesn't a dietitian like help them like come up with like meals, or tell them like what to eat, like eat properly, right? Somebody tell me in the comments what the difference between a dietitian. Actually, I'll figure it out. Dietitian and nutritionist. Me not know 100%. I should know by now.
It's not about me, it's about the body.
Oh my god, the neck girl.
If you're doing your job, they shouldn't have to weight cycle.
It's not about me, it's about the
baby. What is going on here? Also though, like, I do love stacking necklaces. However, I feel like those chokers are not doing it for you, baby. What's the purpose? Are you wearing this necklace until your homie gets out of prison? And it's been like a really long time?
The body is so smart. But we're animals. Our bodies, when we lose weight, our body goes, oh shit, she just starved me. I'm gonna do everything I can to try to get back to that place. I think to drive up thoughts about.
That's so strange because, like, yes, we are animals, but we also have the capacity for abstract reasoning, complex language, self-awareness, and mental time travel. We can create things out of nothing. We are more than just instinct. We are animals, but also when we were animals, so like when we were nomadic cave people 100 years ago, just kidding, we did not have like the industrious like food machine that we have today. We didn't have the opportunity to like get food at any time of day. We were hunters and gatherers. We fasted. We were nomadic. Sometimes we didn't eat for days at a time. So like I could come into this argument. I could push Jillian over and be like, if we're animals, then why aren't you fasting? Because that's what we used to do. Right? The whole reason why it's so easy for us to gain fat, why the body is built to put on fat cells, is because that is a survival mode, but that's survival. That's not, let's just continue to just eat until we get all the fat that we want on our body. Like, that's weird. It's a survival mechanism, and we have brains and science now, and we have so much food. We're not in a famine. So we need to make sure that we're not overdoing it, right? You can manipulate. It's right. Am I right or am I wrong? Like, you're not in a famine anymore. Stop feeding your body like you're in a famine. Stop eating famine foods. That's another thing too. White carbs, and I know I always have like a war on carbs. I don't. If you're like a fucking runner, an athlete or whatever, eat the carbs. But if you're like me, you're sedentary, you're lazy, or you have insulin resistance, you don't need carbs. Like, you go easy on the carbs. Carbs are a famine food. Carbs are foods that you eat when it's about to hit winter and shit's gonna get hairy.
Food. I think it's slow down metabolism to conserve the energy you are getting. Or are you suggesting that because it's hard and it's multifactorial, we should negate the dangers and not track it? If you think that it's
Okay, Jillian. Okay. Yeah. Are you just telling me that because for some reason our bodies are the body's default is to gain fat easily, is that we should just give it more fat when it's clearly proven that like having excess fat on your body is like scary dangerous?
It's more dangerous to weight cycle than it is to stay in a fat body.
It's still not the claim. And if you want to show...
Yeah, nobody is fucking coming up here and making the claim. Or arguing the claim.
Show me that. Sure, show me the data. I'm not going to argue with that. It's not healthy to do that either. That's still not the claim.
Your claim
this isn't a hierarchy of what is unhealthy.
We're out of time. We have to...
Dude, see? Very upsetting. Very annoying. Very annoying. Like, I wish people could finish their fucking... I wish people could finish their arguments, but me not the runner of Jubilee. Okay, I'm gonna call it quits there just because that claim is over, and then I want to start the second claim in another video just so it's kind of like cohesive and like easy, right? Not out of order. Everybody's having a good time. I could do one claim per episode. That's like 5 more episodes. Maybe. We'll see if they fit. But what did you guys think? What did you guys think of the French bob lady? Is that a French bob? The bob lady. And what did you guys think about the poisonous flower? I appreciate that the second gal had a little bit more time to state her argument. It was very much less soapboxy. I feel like she was trying to get to the claim, but obviously everybody voted her out, which sucks. I would have liked to hear more of her. Now, I have seen clips that there is a follow-up episode with another chick with Jillian. I wish that they would do that more with some of the other characters in this Jubilee Surrounded episode, especially that first lady from my first episode, the blonde lady with the glasses. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you guys... clearly I know there's going to be some discussions to go on, and I'm excited to hear what you guys think. If you haven't already, please consider giving me a subscribe if you liked the video. Go ahead and like it, and consider becoming a member. It's only $2 a month, and you get an extra video every weekend. If you are already subscribed and a member, I really appreciate you, and I'm having so much fun making videos and seeing you guys every week, and yeah, I just thank you very much, and Dunky thanks you too. All right, everybody, have a great day. Goodbye.